Welcome, Sam. Welcome to the 6th episode of Charcha by Mithali.
Congratulations on getting to episode 6. Do you know most podcasts fail after like the first episode? I think like 90% of podcasts don't get past their first episode.
Really?
So you're well ahead of most people. So well done.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the 6th episode of Charcha by Mithali. And today we have Sam with us and we're going to talk about marketing in a corporate world versus an agency world. And I've always worked mostly on the brand side, and I'm not really familiar with what happens in an agency. So having you here intrigues me, very fascinating. And maybe that's why I'm very extra curious about what happens in the agency world.
Definitely. Hopefully I can share some of my stories. I think just as a preface and make sure I don't overrepresent, I've never been in any other agency other than my own. I have absolutely no idea what happens in other agencies other than the ones that we come up against in competition. But I'll share my stories and maybe it is reflective. Maybe you can tell me, anyone out there who's watching, who's part of an agency being like, yeah, Sam, you're right. Or Sam, you're so wrong. But we'll find out.
I think it's just about having your own experiences and learning through them.
100%.
So let's get going. So today I'm joined by Sam Boardman, who is the director of Warnie Media, to explore what makes an agency life so different from the corporate world, why he chose to start his own agency, and what the future of agencies look like. If you've ever wondered whether you're more of a corporate or an agency person, this podcast is for you. And let's get going.
Let's do it. Where do you want to start?
First, I would love to introduce you to our audience. So Sam started his career in engineering, working at GHD, and then transitioned into project management, strategy and consulting, and worked in companies such as Groupon, Accenture, and Uber. And now he's running his own marketing agency since 5 years, which is amazing.
Feels like a year. Time flies when you're having fun, they say.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sounds good. So how have you been, Sam?
Been good. It's I think we're getting, in my professional life, it's kind of coming to a bit of a climax moment at the moment where it's like all the, I guess, stars are aligning finally.
Ooh,
many different stars of parts of my life and parts of my career are all starting to make sense a bit. My career on paper, it's very odd sods and weird decision making, but it's starting to come together into some sort of enjoyable soup of experience. So it's been a lot of fun. This year's been especially fun. Fly out to the US next week, and then we're heading to Europe on shoot in Monaco for a week, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Monaco.
So I'm just really looking forward to the European summer. It's been very wet.
Oh yes, it's been very wet winters this year in Sydney. Yeah, I agree to that. Yes, amazing. I hope you're very excited for the US.
Yeah, it should be a laugh. Yeah, we'll see what it's like. Everyone keeps saying, "Why are you going to the US at the moment?" But we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Amazing, sounds good. So should we start with the questions?
Let's go. However you want to run this, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So you started out in engineering and then moved to project management, consulting, and strategy, a path which is very structured and, analytical. On paper, it wouldn't necessarily scream creative marketing agency founder. So that's why I find your story very fascinating. What inspired you to pivot from that world into building a marketing agency?
Yeah, it does sound a bit odd sods on paper, but I think if you boil it back to one thing, which is you create value for people by solving their problems. And being able to solve problems is actually a skill in itself, regardless of what the problem is. And so one of the things that I've spent a lot of my time developing is how to solve problems and taking an approach to problem solving that applies in any industry. And so yes, I started in engineering. I got sick of spending government money. I wanted to get out and go, and when I did something and solved a problem, depending on how well I solved the problem, the better I solved the problem, the better the outcome was, versus just like you solve the problem, you meet the standard.
Yeah.
Therefore, problem solved. There's no benefit of going further. And so I got hyper fixated on, I guess, outsized returns and outsized value by solving problems in unique ways, or even just taking a structured approach to problem solving. The bar is very low in the world of problem solving for the way most people just attack problems. They get very surface level and they don't take a very good approach to problem solving. I think a lot of people get caught there. People who are great do this incredibly well. They're able to just solve problems in a way that unlocks unlimited value. And so I'm hyper fixated on that and have been spending a lot of time there. And that's why consulting was that next step from engineering of just like, okay, now not engineering problem, let's go to business problems. And then it was from business problems in consulting and getting sick of traveling all the time every week into tech.
Yeah.
And tech was and probably is still at the front of just solving into a place where nothing has been solved before. And they're just trying to solve really, really hard problems.
Yeah.
And so the next step for me was just try and solve the problem of starting a business, which is, as they say, like 90% of businesses fail in the first year or whatever the number is. There's a stat, which I don't know. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, why not give it a go? Who knows? You may see me back in the corporate world in a year or two, or maybe Vonnie Media becomes a corporate. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that's
I like the vision. I like the vision.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like let's solve more hard problems together. It's all what we love to do. So
love it. As you spoke about problem solving, so how do you solve problems?
Yeah, this is
Very open-ended.
No, it's a good question. I think, how do I solve problems? I think the engineering method teaches you something that applies, and which is why a lot of CEOs and managers or management leadership roles are engineers.
Engineer backgrounds, yeah.
It teaches you to just slam your head against the wall until you solve it.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this when I've worked with people coming through the marketing education pillar, and it's something to take away is just because you don't know the answer doesn't mean you can't find it.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know the answer, doesn't mean you don't know. If you say, I don't know, and don't follow it with, but I will try and figure it out, I think that is holding people back. And so the engineering approach of just that consistent, just because I don't know the answer now doesn't mean I can't engineer my way through it.
Yeah.
And so that has always been the approach of like, okay, keep chipping away, try, test, fail, test, fail, get one step closer to the right outcome, and then eventually you get there. But there is that. So there's that element, and then just a distillation of information.
Yeah.
You've got 3 or 4 pieces of information that are floating around in your head.
Yeah.
How can you bring them into something that's coherent? So that if you said sky is blue and it's sunny today, you can very easily in your head say it's going to be a nice day.
Yeah.
But in business, that's very hard. It's like, okay, consumer interest rates are dropping, but there's AI is putting pressure on your business versus Meta is getting more and more expensive, and business owners just go, I don't know what to do. And so if you can distill that into an actionable plan,
that's what problem solving is.
That is really that distillation and problem solving skill set. And so anyway, that's what I lean on personally in my professional life. And yeah, just an unrelenting grit to just keep smacking my head against the wall until I figure it out. I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does, 100%. I feel engineering is a very diverse profession.
Yeah.
It does lead you into different paths. I've had so many friends who are engineers and then doing an MBA, transitioning into marketing and different fields, having a business.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty interesting.
It's funny, MBAs are a bit of a side quest. I did one as well. Interesting. It was like just my COVID hobby. I did it at Sydney. And I don't think it's great. Like if you can afford to do an MBA, you should do it. It's fine. You meet a lot of really smart people.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of value you can get out of just like of the MBA by just working and just pushing in your career. I think a lot of people miss that opportunity. It's like, I have to go and study to learn this. It's like, no, the opportunity is probably sitting in front of you in your organization. Just like, are you exploring outside of your function and being curious?
Yeah.
I think you could just do an MBA inside a business by genuinely being curious and talking to everyone on your floor. And you probably get more out of that than an MBA. So that's another thing. Like on your floor at work, just speak to everyone. Make sure you understand what every person does, how their role works. And you just get a free MBA.
Yeah, for sure. No, obviously in corporate world, there are different teams, speak to people, go out with people on coffees, explore different teams, and that's how you know how the business works.
Yeah. I feel like this is like this session here with you, for you and I, like me learning about yourself and you learning about me, is effectively what an MBA is. You just pay a lot of money to do this, whereas we can just do it for free. Or like it costs our time. So it's MBAs are an interesting angle. But engineers are always drawn to an MBA.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. So as it takes us into a direction where a lot of people, from your kind of background, go towards more of a corporate ladder. They jump on and climb up on a corporate ladder. But you chose something very different. You built a marketing agency from the ground up and just build something of your own. So what was the moment or insight that convinced you that you need to have a marketing agency of your own? And how did it align with Wani Media's vision? And what's the vision of the company?
Yeah. So I'll answer the question back to front. The vision of the company is to be the most empowering marketing agency in Australia. And so what we notice and what it boils back to a lot of the times when clients approach us is they have a feeling of overwhelm.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we get someone that comes in and says, this is exactly what I want to do and this is exactly how to execute it. Here's the budget. I just need you to do it. If they get to that stage, they probably don't need us.
Yeah.
And if they're very easy clients to work with, but there's always an underlying strategy at that point that we still need to understand to be able to execute on our behalf so that we're clear. And so what we like to do is actually work with our clients to help them work through that overwhelm and go from being overwhelmed to creating clarity, which is going back to that distillation and understanding and problem solving. Get to a point where we have mutual understanding and a clear way forward so that we go from like, I've always wanted to do this. It's incredibly frustrated. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't execute. I've got to run my own business. I've got to run my business to I'm really excited. I really want to do this. I can't wait to start.
Yeah.
And that transition, and then it's like, okay, it's all well and good doing that for the first 2 months. Everyone's excited. And it's like, how do we keep that empowerment for 3 to 5 years, which is how long, like most of our clients have been with us since the start of our business and they just keep working with us.
Wow.
And so that is our vision. If people come in to work with us, we want them to feel that. I want them to have that experience. And if they don't, then we haven't fulfilled our promise. So yeah, that's our goal. What was the insight that got us to starting a marketing agency? And I have to say Von was the visionary to create this.
Yeah.
When Von started this, she just wanted to freelance. She's like, Sam, I'm making no money. I might as well do it for myself. She was working in a corporate role at the time. I think she was making about
just for context, one's Sam's wife.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Von, my business partner, but first partner and wife. We've now been together 11 years, married
beautiful.
for one, but the business is 5 years old. So we're partners first. Oh, sorry, romantic partners first, and then ended up in business together. Which I always said to Von, I will never start a family business, and how wrong I was there. Yeah. So you've always got to be able to change your perspective on things.
100%.
So what was the insight? I think Von was at the time, she'll tell you this, she's like, I was making no money and all I needed to do was get to somewhat close to making the same amount of money to make this work. And she said, Sam, I was going to go do a master's. I wasn't going to make any money doing that. I'm just going to do this for a year instead. Probably not going to make any money either. Are you okay with that? And I was like, oh, we don't really have any money now anyway, so you might as well. And so it's one of those things where it's like the opportunity cost isn't too large.
I get it.
And so she just jumped out and said, let's just do it. Got a few clients and then off she went. But yeah, it was much more of an organic thing than I was set out to build the most empowering marketing agency in the world. We didn't have that figured out. It was just very much just like, let's just do this and see what happens. And if it all goes belly up, we'll go back to our jobs and keep going on with life and probably be very happy. And who knows?
Yeah, for sure. Never predict the future because you don't know what the future holds for you.
Even though that's part of my job. Yes, I agree with that. Don't try and look too far ahead, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So if you started a marketing agency or you and one started a marketing agency, so if I ask you like a step-by-step guide for a 24-year-old who wants to start a marketing agency of their own, what would that be? Like maybe like a 5-step guide of
Sure.
marketing, starting a marketing agency.
Amazing. There is too many YouTube guides online telling you to do,
Yeah.
and they say build a website and then find your niche and then ring every person under the sun about what you do and then convince them to pay you to sign up to a social media management engagement for $5,000 a month or whatever the structure is. I like to keep it way simpler. Just say you do it because you are what you say you are. You say you're a vet. I don't know, are you? I assume you are. And then it's like people just assume that you are. It's like, okay, I'm a freelance marketer. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Most people don't really know, but the people, they'll go, oh, next time I'm having a conversation at a barbecue and Jenny says, oh, I need help with my marketing. I've really been struggling with my business. First thing they're going to do is say, oh, I know a freelance marketer. Let me get them. They're really nice. I love working. I love them as a person. Let me introduce you. And then at that point, so you've now said, hey, I'm a freelance marketer or I have a marketing agency. Then you get introduced and then it's about building trust. And then it's understanding their problem, spending time in discovery, understanding what they actually need. And a lot of the times business owners have absolutely no idea what they need. And they've been told by 50 people that they need Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, they need a new website, they need a brand refresh. They've got to do all these graphic ads. They should be ranking content every day. They should be running ads. They actually should be doing letterbox drops, like all the things that they've been told. And they're like, I can't do all of those things. So you just need to, again, go back through that process. And that's what's worked for us. What is it you're trying to achieve? Let's really simplify it back to how can we help you? And if you can't help them, pass them on to someone who can. And that creates a lot of value. And you might go, okay, I'm really good at content creation. Hey, Jenny, I can help you, guide you through this process and understand where we're going. Let me help you with the content creation. But you're going to need some support later on by these XYZ people. And then just make open doors for other people. And that's how you start a business. And then you just send them an invoice for the work that you do and you get paid. That's a business.
That lands me to 2 questions. Okay, number 1 would be, how do you make those people trust you? While having those discovery calls? And number 2, how do you define how much would you get paid?
How much do you get paid? So the first one is, how do you get people to trust you? One, you've got to have somewhat know what you're talking about. So that really helps. Second, you actually just genuinely care so much about the person that they just feel really supported. Which I think is actually underrated in most businesses. Like most people, when they speak to us, they're like, wow, that was refreshing. It's like, what do you mean? Like people, like if you're not genuinely caring about your customers, you don't have a business. Like your business doesn't work. Like think of the brands that you love. And when something goes wrong, what happens? You contact them and they don't get back to you. You just like have a sour taste in your mouth, right? And it's the same in B2B businesses and consulting. It's you've just got to like treat your clients like they're your
best friends.
Yeah, they are. And you're just trying to help them as much as you can. And then you figure out the payment stuff later. Like you're not going in like, I'm going to make this much money from this. Like I'm going in to solve their biggest problem. And then once I solve it, you'll just get, the money just flows. How do you charge? There's pretty simple mechanics here. You can either charge by the hour. And you just go, my hourly rate is $50 or $60 an hour and it's going to take me, and you just charge me and I'll track my time and you just pay me just like a job. The other one is, which I think is a much smarter way to go, is like, there's 2 ways to do this. There's a beginner level, which is like, I think it's going to take me 10 hours. Probably should build a buffer. Because I've never done as much of this before. I've done it for myself and it took me 10 hours, but the film might stop or my editing program's going to crash for a couple of hours. It's going to take me 15 hours. And so I'm going to build it for 12. And if it takes me 5, I'll pocket the difference. If it takes me 15, I'll work a few extra hours and my hourly rate goes down.
For sure.
But you're creating the value. It might be $900. You make the content. The advanced level is, how much value am I creating for the client? And so the clearer you get about the value you create for the client, the more you can charge.
That also depends upon the urgency of the task. Obviously play on the parts where the client wants to get work done at. You know what? Like if someone has an urgency of a task and is on the grounds where they can't think of anyone, but you come to their mind, and that's where you can lead that conversation on the pricing aspect, as you said, value addition, and get on there.
Exactly. Yeah. You've just cracked onto one of the value props of agencies and the things clients care about.
Yeah.
And I think when you're first starting out in a business, it's really hard to separate your personal life and your business life. And so what you care about in your personal life is different to what you care in, I guess the values of the business. And what I mean by that is there are examples where you are willing to pay more for things as a consumer to get them faster. Yep. Uber Eats wouldn't exist if people weren't willing to pay more to get things delivered faster. And then we see it even further with like priority delivery. Like when we rolled that, when I was there, when they rolled it out, it's like, no one's going to pay for this. And then all of a sudden people start paying for it. And you're like, okay, people value speed.
Oh yeah. Convenience is the king.
Convenience and speed. Yep. Business owners have a very similar thing, but the amount they're willing to pay for speed for certain businesses will blow your mind. The amount people just to get it done quick, that is worth more to them than it done extremely well. But you need to understand the need of the customer. Like if the customer values done really well and happy to wait, then you should structure it around quality.
Yeah.
But that comes out in the discovery process that we talked about. It's like, okay, what are you actually looking? Do you need this tomorrow? Or are you happy to wait 2 weeks and I can give you a better product?
Yep.
And you can get it cheaper. And then they're like, oh no, I need it tomorrow. It's like, okay, well.
Do it anyway as you want.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, speed is a value creator for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds great. So, amazing.
Invoice for your work and you get paid. Make sure you got an ABN and then speak to an accountant afterwards.
Yeah.
That's how you run an agency. And then you've got to somehow give them value. And that I can't tell you how to give them value. It depends on how you help them. But to solve a problem.
Yeah, and the client would trust you in the process when you are actually, in your discovery calls, you do understand after 1 or 2 calls that if the client is actually coming to the 3rd call, they are building some trust.
And people don't want to hang out on calls just to talk to you. Oh, actually, that's not true. Some businesses do just want to talk to you and suck all the information out of you. And like, that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think some people get really sad when deals don't go ahead or opportunities don't go ahead, but that's business.
Yeah.
Like you've got to show up to those calls as if they're a grand final of a sport. Like you should be showing up like I'm here to help you and I want you to win. If you do that in every call, you will close one of them.
Does it feel personal when a client jumps off a deal?
First one did 100% when I'm like, let me help you.
Yeah.
And like did all this work and we got everything lined up. They were super, they always tell you how excited they are. And then they just like, they're like, yeah, let's go ahead. I'm like, awesome. We'll get you onboarded. Started the onboarding process.
Yeah.
Didn't get a contract signed because I was an idiot at the time. Didn't get an agreement in place, started all the work, got started, and then they just ghost you because they're too scared to say,
we don't want to work with you.
We don't want to go ahead. So you just done all this work and then you're like, I don't know, I feel like I've just been on a Tinder date and it wwent really well. And then, not that I've ever been on Tinder because it wasn't even a thing when I was dating Von. You've been on a date and then all of a sudden they just ghost you. And it's the same in business. And it's not you, it's them.
For sure. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that perspective.
That was a bit of a side quest there in your podcast. Apologies about dating and the semblance between dating.
Our audience would be very much interested. Young people want to know what happens in the world out there. Amazing. So if you talk about some, that gives a great insight of the business world. Thank you for that. So if we talk about some of the myths people talk about in agency and corporate life. So when I talk about agencies or when I've heard, I've read articles, I heard about my peers working in agencies, they're usually like, it's messy, it's agile, it's creative, and corporate is more structured and, rigid.
Yeah.
So we really want to know the truth.
It's great marketing by agencies. It's messy and creative and all these words. It's just a bunch of really smart people in one industry. I mean, this is in any team. Like you can have this in a corporate world. It's just a group of humans trying to solve problems in front of them. I think the agency world is very focused on execution because they have to deliver value to their clients. Otherwise, they don't get paid.
Yep, for sure.
And that's the case to some degree in the corporate world, but you're a bit further removed from the ins and outs of the actual executional work. Sometimes you're like so far so far away.
Yeah.
You're just talking about the execution a lot.
Yeah.
Depends on the role. Like some businesses have what we would consider agency capabilities in-house. And they're the ones building the ads and creating the content. They've got videographers and content creators and social media managers posting and engaging with customers on the ground. Some brands don't do that.
Yeah.
And so I think it comes back to actually what is the roles. You very rarely have marketing project managers in the sense of what you experience in a large corporate who manage agencies inside of agencies. We tend to call them our account managers, and they're more of a strategist and program manager. But yeah, I think agencies are I don't think there's too much difference. I think it's a bit of a inflated reason to make a change between the two, and people go, oh, I've done my time in-house. I want to try agency. And it's just the grass is greener. At the end of the day, we're just marketing products to get people to buy stuff.
Yep.
Whether you're
or your service.
Exactly. And so that's just the game of business. And I don't complicate it too much. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things we could drill into another level. I think one of the myths to, I guess, bust is our agency's crazy. I worked longer hours in corporate than I would have if I worked at Vonnie Media.
Yeah.
But that's just a matter of different teams and different industries. Maybe marketing in-house is less hours, but I don't see that to be, I think that's a pretty big myth. I don't think agencies are as resource constrained as they were. I think in-house teams are actually more resource constrained because of what their expectations of the company are on them for such a small lean team, which businesses have moved to in the more recent years. Marketing teams I see now are like 3 people, 4 people for a big corporate.
Yeah.
And they're looking after events, email, brand, performance, and they've got 15 agencies they're managing, and the CMO is always asking for reports to go to the board, and then product decides to drop 4 new products. Like the in-house team is getting slammed. The agency team is just like, just tell us what to do and we'll execute it. Or give us the brief and we'll execute it.
Outsource your work.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a long-winded answer to it. They're basically both have their challenges. They're both hard. I think they both can be both of those things. Just depends on the team and the makeup and the structure and what problems you're working on.
Very interesting. Amazing. So we're in a world where clients expect fast turnovers or measurable ROIs and sometimes even build their own in-house teams, as we were talking about.
They do.
So I've seen some people argue that this could make agencies less relevant. So here we are talking about the future of the marketing agencies. So how do you see agencies balancing creativity with accountability today? And do you think agencies will still be the go-to partners for the brands in the future? Or will corporates pull more work in-house?
Yeah, good question. I've got a few perspectives. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one as well, because I think this is one where we're doing this in the air. Like, who knows what happens next week? Maybe all marketers just vanish out of with all the AI world that's happening. But I think the traditional agency model is already dead. And the only reason it hasn't died is because there's a few relationships between people that are keeping people employed. I think what we'll see is the agency model move away from someone who is the agent of so if you think of the name advertising or marketing or media agency, more specifically, it is an agent acting on behalf of the brand. Just like a buyer's agent or a seller's agent in real estate or an insurance broker navigating insurance for you as a brand. That role used to be like your broker when you call them, like, I want to buy stocks, right? And then they go and call the brands and the businesses and make the exchange happen. Now we just jump on, I don't know, ComSec and buy the share. Like, we don't have to call a broker. Right? So
online.
Tech is there. So it becomes more about the actual financial guidance than the execution of buying the stock. And then therefore, if you get good guidance and they can do it for you, like, just do it for me. Like, you're already doing all the hard bit. I don't want to have to deal with this. So I think we'll see agencies move more to growth consulting, brand consulting, go-to-market consulting, which is we're seeing a lot form out, which is like sales, product, and marketing
more
together.
Specializing sort of a thing.
Yeah. Doing the consulting up front and then the execution comes through. So the high value work that is specialist, and you can't just have that in-house all the time because it's too expensive.
For sure.
You just need it for shorter periods, and then let the agency be an extension of your team versus the broker you just send your money off to and they buy all this media for you.
Yeah.
So I think the value equation will work out better that way. And the agencies that do that well and the people who are working in the agency who take that mindset of like, I am a consultant to this brand versus I'm their account manager taking orders.
Yeah.
Will absolutely blow every other agency out of the water. And so anyway, that's what I think will happen. I think brands will keep those agencies on because they'll see them as like consistent thought consultants and help marketers make better decisions and help them move faster. Brands will bring it in-house. They always have. They will continue to do it. I'm seeing it now. I'm also seeing people who have brought it in-house and then experience the pain of what happens when you bring it in-house and that person leaves.
Yeah.
You just lose the capability and you're like, now I've got to go back to market. Your brand has to keep advertising, particularly in the e-commerce world when a performance marketer leaves and you can't fill it back with a good one.
Yeah.
Like your revenue could drop in half in a month. And that is like massive risk centralization. If you think about risk planning for your business, if one person leaves your business and 50% of your revenue disappears, that is like massive red flags.
Yeah.
That is like existential risk to your business. That's like a COVID event.
Yeah.
For most e-commerce businesses. So I'm seeing that risk crystallize and they're like, oh, we tried to bring it in-house and we're not doing that again. If you give it to an agency, you can distribute that risk because they contain the capability of multiple people doing that skill and they can very quickly pivot and cover anyone. Like people leave agencies, so that risk still exists, but you can pivot the risk and cover the risk for brands a lot easier.
Because different tasks are done by different people in an agency. And I think as we are talking about it, like, so if you go to a mortgage broker, they've got different banks and different banks on there and they've got different interest rates.
Exactly.
So it's about basically getting different vendors and having their different rates. So agency would have that.
Yep.
But if you're running in-house, one person is dedicated to that task and only one person can, go to one publisher and get the rates out there. But having a variety is always better.
Yeah, it's otherwise, I mean, that's why consumer laws exist so that we don't have monopolies. Because prices just go up. So it's better for the brands get the value straight away when they first hire that person. They get that cheapest market. Yeah. But over time, you need to keep shopping that around.
Yeah, for sure.
And so agencies help with that. I think, it's a balancing act. I think both work. I don't think it's an absolute situation. I think you'll see agencies change. We'll probably keep traditional media agency for the people who want them. It's just about what service do you provide and how do you add value. If you don't add value to the customers, they'll very quickly figure that out and just don't work with you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, consumer is the king.
It is, yeah. And the person who's paying the bills needs to be getting value out of it. Otherwise, they won't pay you and then you don't have a business. For
sure. You're accountable to them. And if you're not serving the purpose and not serving what exactly they're after, then you're not relevant. And relevancy is the key to
Exactly, definitely. I think the agency model feels this more and more because our clients, we have such a long-standing relationship with clients. Like we very rarely work with a client once. And if we do, we probably have done something wrong. Like we didn't deliver our promise. Our clients most of our clients have been with us since the start of our business. And so that is incredibly valuable. So you have to deliver value all the time and you have to prove your value every week. Like our team's like measuring the meaningful revenue and profitability impact on people's businesses every week. It's not many, like you're not getting that from your software subscription.
Yeah.
Your Netflix isn't telling you how much value it's created you. It's probably trying to hide.
That brings me to a very famous, very good article that I was reading on LinkedIn. So here, Netflix actually, did you know that Netflix actually targets the person watching a show in different ways? Did you know that?
Yeah. This is called personalization. And So it uses the same thing that we rely heavily in our digital marketing.
Yeah.
Like relevance algorithms are what drive relevant ads, which then drive relevant. Like the relevance algorithms are built for advertising because the more relevant the ad is to you, the more likely the ad will influence you to do something.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
Netflix is just using the relevance algorithm to increase the engagement with its product.
Absolutely. If I am a person who likes more of rom-com, it would target me in that way. And then if you like more of thrill, it would target you in that way.
Yeah.
And that's what a great marketing team would do. Like doing the customization and understanding exactly what you're after, but not in a way they want to cater to, but in a way that you want to be catered to.
It's really interesting now. I mean, the way it's always worked is you get a creative campaign and then you go, okay, well, who's the audience I'm trying to speak to? And then I find them. And then so the media side of the creative and media was to understand the audience, know where they play, and then show the creative to them there.
Yeah.
What we're moving to a world now, particularly in the interest media being social platforms like Meta and Pinterest and TikTok, is actually the creative becomes the targeting. And so the algorithms that we leverage, the AI algorithms built into these platforms, actually assess the creative that you put in an ad and then find the audience that are most likely to be influenced by that creative versus what we've traditionally had to do, which was like decide who the audience is, define them, understand the characteristics, and then target them. So we use creative as a targeting mechanism in 2025, which is why you see some of us create 300, 400, 500 ad variants for one campaign strategy in a Meta ads account, which allows us to get in front of multiple demographics and really get into the people's psyche and change their behavior to ultimately get them to buy stuff.
Wow.
And so it's like applying the Netflix concept. It's like if you launch Stranger Things and I don't know, Designated Survivor and then Outer Banks. Yeah. Those are three very different audiences. 100%. But you put them in the feed and you get the data and you put the one that's most likely going to be. And so, anyway, that's the Netflix now. I would expect them to be creating content to attract and engage their highest value audiences. So they'll be like, okay, the Gen Zs, yes, they're culture creators. Stranger Things was amazing for that, but they're not the ones paying the subscription bill.
No.
Very often. Usually it's family,
millennials,
parents, millennials, Gen X. So they're probably creating more content around that really hook them into those shows. And then anyway, that's we can have a whole podcast on relevance and content and targeting and the new age of media and creative. That's a whole nother combo.
No, 100%. That sounds great. So that brings us to the end of the podcast.
Wow, that flew.
Yeah, I know. That conversation was beautiful. So since you've been in the marketing agency world for 5 years now, so what's been one of the hardest lessons you've learned running an agency? And what advice would you give to someone who's 24, want to start their own marketing agency? What are some of the cool tips?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so biggest lesson I've learned is the biggest blocker to your growth is yourself. And that is a swallow your pride, ego gets bruised moment that I think we all go through it at different stages in our career and you kind of learn. For sure. You're always like, it's other things, other people in this situation. It was just a circumstantial thing. And at the end of the day, it's a skills deficit or a knowledge deficit that you have. And so if you're 24 and what advice I would give to you is right now you have an enthusiasm and energy that shines brightly through you at that age. And what you need to do at that age is go, okay, harness that enthusiasm and at the same time overlay what are those skill deficits that I have that are stopping me from getting to where I want to get to. Don't think too far ahead. Yeah. But go, what are the skills deficits that I have? And if you don't know, ask everyone around you to find them and then triage them because those skill deficits are what are stopping you from where you are to where you want to be. There's a bunch of CMOs that are 24.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. There's people that run brands that have built, it's just a skill deficit. Yeah. Right. So there's just an experience or there's things that have happened. You don't need to be 50 to be, it's not an age thing.
No, 100%.
And so it's like, what are those skills? Like if you want to be a CMO, how do you become a CMO? If you want to be a business owner, is it capital? Do I need to understand what it means to raise money, to build a business? Is it I'm missing a certain skill set, whether it's sales or marketing or product or operations?
For sure.
And so it's like find those things and start solving the constraint that's on you. Same in a business. And if you do that well, you'll just learn more and you'll get bigger and bigger constraints and You fix that constraint and then the problems get bigger and bigger and you still play the same game. It's like, I always come back to tennis, and I got taught this by my manager when I was at Uber. He's obsessed with tennis.
Yeah.
And we were talking about process versus content in strategy. So process is how you do things. Content is what you do.
Yeah.
A lot of people in strategy are like content. What problem are we solving?
Yeah.
But the process side of things is like, imagine you're playing tennis.
Yeah.
How do you win a tennis game?
Learn how to play tennis.
That's a good start. Once you've got that, you learn how to hit a ball.
You learn how to hold the racket.
Yeah. You learn how to hold a racket. And
I
then
went to one tennis lessons.
Yeah.
But I just found the racket really heavy for me. So
So you learn how to hold it and get stronger, and you just keep hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing tennis against Rafael Nadal or your best friend, all you're doing is hitting a ball back and forth up the court. And so that technique and the process of hitting a ball is what makes you either a great tennis player or an average tennis player.
Yep.
And so if you want to be a great tennis player, you need to focus on learning to be a great swinger of the racket and playing tennis really well. And it's usually simple things. And it's the same in a career. It's not this like, when I have this really cool project that's really shiny, that everything's going to change. Like, you're still going to feel overwhelmed. You're still going to get stressed. What happens when things go wrong? How do I deal with managing people? What's my approach? So all those things. Anyway, that was a very long-winded answer of like, focus on your constraints.
Amazing. No, I think that's really important. At the end of the day, you are your own barrier. That was a lovely insight, because at the end of the day, you are the one who is judging your own self. No one else thinks about what are your hardships, what process you followed. It's actually, if anyone else is watching you, if that's what you're afraid of, it's the end product.
Yeah,
they would care about.
Exactly.
But
also, most people don't care. Like, no one's looking. Like, it's just like, and if you stuff it up, no one really sees it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we're small. We're like a grain of salt on this big earth. Like, I don't know. It's just, unless you're like, your blast radius is relatively small at the start, so you can make a lot of mistakes. But if you just make them faster and don't think about them too much, you'll learn a lot more.
For sure. No, thank you so much. It was amazing to chat to you.
Thanks
and it was a lovely conversation. I hope our audience enjoyed as much as we did, because at the end of the day, when you're choosing a career, it is a big thing to take a stand on whether you want to go into the corporate world or whether you want to go into the agency life. So some people get to make that choice, some don't. So I think that's a great insight for the people who get to make that choice.
Yeah, make the choice. And I think both are great. So do both. I think you can do both. I think you just keep, and if you don't like, you just go to the other one.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, awesome.
No, thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks so much.
It was amazing to have you on the pod. Thank you.
Thanks guys. Bye.
Bye. See ya.